Hey, everybody. Welcome to Seth and Beth podcast. How are you, babe?
I'm awesome. How are you, honey?
I do love you and miss you very much. Why is that?
Well, you've been away. Maybe people can guess where you were by your shirt.
Siberia.
Stop it. No, you're like a
Why?
bird of paradise with that shirt on.
Why? Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
More of a, I don't know. I'm not really svelte enough to fly, so more of a ground bird, foal of some sort.
Yeah.
I was just spent a week in Mexico. It was wonderful.
I'm proud of you. You don't look too sunburnt. You wear enough sunscreen, but you're just enough kissed, You don't have this like pale,
I am sun-kissed.
White. Do you see how much blush I have to put on so it looks like I have life in my face?
That's why I'm wearing this shirt in the middle of January in Ohio. We almost saw the sun yesterday. I think it's up there. It came out for a smidge in Ohio. But no, it's freezing and it's miserable. But
it's not that bad. I think today's like 45. It feels pretty good.
I'm exaggerating, obviously. But we just got done with our business consulting meeting, Beth. That is weird for a couple photographers to have, don't you think?
Yeah, I love it so much, though. Like a business consultant. Well, first sounds real fancy, honey. Doesn't it sound fancy of us? We'll have to bring Paul on sometime. He's a great guy. His name's Paul, but I don't know. He doesn't like it when I say this, so that's why I like saying it on the podcast or to you.
He's not watching. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's not. But he just is such a genius. He just thinks of things in a way that like my mind just doesn't think. I don't have a business mind, which
so he's having us attack.
Tough when you have a business, but you don't have a business mind. See, that's why you have to have somebody.
This is a lot of creatives out there as they start with a camera in their hands, and then all of a sudden you're shoved in this role of being a business person, which obviously we went a few years with not really succeeding. Well, we've had great success, but I mean, everyone always needs help. I think everyone needs a sort of a life coach, business coach, and Paul serves both of those facets for us.
I'm so grateful for him in our life and everything. So,
and he's done so well that he owns 2, going on 3 homes in Mexico. Beautiful, gorgeous villas, basically mansions on the cliffs of the Pacific. They're astounding. And you've been there I've been there 5 times now.
Awesome.
In 3 years. And
I think I've been there 3.
So it's absolutely incredible. All of our friends hear about it. But if you go to Luxury ZLO, you can, Luxury ZLO, you can see the beautiful houses in Manzanillo, Mexico.
Oh, honey, you should put a little link for your video. You made that awesome video on one of his houses. You should put a link right in there so people can watch it.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. But in essence, one thing that we're really appreciative of is like, I think we both came to each other and realized that we need help with our business, and that we weren't too stubborn to say.
Yeah.
So you wanted to talk about client experience today.
Yeah. Speaking of like the business world, like I had such a great experience this morning. My sweet Gio, our sweet Gio, he's been the orthodontist twice. We went to a new orthodontist since we moved. And so we're trying out this new orthodontist. Now, little side note, I think it's pretty cute. Seth went to the same orthodontist when he was a kid, but somebody like bought the business, which is pretty cool. So we went to this new orthodontist. They sent us a nice letter, as all doctors do. But when I went there, so first, like the nurse, super nice. She doesn't even have me sign in. She has Gio sign in. And she looks right at him. Like the whole experience is like, it's based on the patient who is the kid, not the mom. Mom, this is where you're going to sign in, Gio. It's, hey, Gio. Okay, so every time you come, and they know his name is Gio. They don't call him George. They knew because I wrote down that like he goes by Gio. Well, then they're going to call him Gio.
Sure.
So Gio, this is where you're going to sign in at. Okay. And so G goes and immediately he was like, that's fun. That's cool. So he feels connected already because he's the one doing it. Okay. So now she takes us to the back room and he sits down in a chair, and it's not like, Mom, I'm going to ask you some questions about Gio. They asked me.
Well, now I'm starting to get alarmed. They're not asking you anything.
I don't know. They did ask me some things, but he sits down there like, Gio, how are you doing today? I'm good. And they're, how old are you? What school do you go to? What are your favorite sports? What are your favorite hobbies? What do you like when you go home? What's the first thing that you like doing? They start asking me these questions. He's like this, like, wow, I like like these questions about me? You know, like he's just having such a great time. Mm-hmm. And you know what, Seth? Like I am too. I love seeing how happy my son is at this doctor's appointment. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest, like even last night as we were snuggling before he goes to bed, that's like our normal routine. Like he loves snuggling with me before bedtime. Uh-huh. And he's like, Mom, do you think tomorrow when I go to the orthodontist, is it going to hurt me? Like, I don't know. I know that, you know, Dad liked getting his braces. I don't know. I just don't want it to hurt me. Mm-hmm. He's loving the orthodontist. He's loving it. So now she's like, Mom, you just stay here. I'm going to take Gio in the back room, and we're going to take some pictures of his teeth. We'll be back in. Come if you want. And G's like, all right. No, he's already made a friend. Mm-hmm. That's his friend. They know each other. They go off. They get their pictures. They come back, and now the doctor is going to come in, right? And the nurse never left us. She was with us the whole time until the doctor came in, and she just asked questions about Gio. So what's school like? And, you know, so now the doctor comes in and he immediately is like, hey, Gio, hey, I'm Dr. Barnett, and shakes his hand. He's like, hey, Mom, how are you? But it's like, it's about Gio. It's not about me. Mom, my name is Dr. Barnett, and I'm going to be the orthodontist today. And so G is super into it, and the orthodontist now asks Gio questions, and he wants to get to know Gio, what school's like and everything. And so now, you know, they do that. They go over the pictures with us about Gio's teeth, and he's talking to Gio the whole time. Oh, tell me about this and that. And now, like, we're going to the next part where
you're rambling now. Tell me about this cup.
All right, so I was really excited.
This is what really impressed you.
This is what really, I liked all that other stuff too. But then they said, oh, Mom, you know, like G got a T-shirt and he got to spin this wheel. And then they're like, Mom, here's a Yeti for you. And
so
I was
you walked in and said, look what they gave me. Now show them the front of this.
All right.
They in no way, shape, or form contribute to our podcast at the moment. Not yet, Barnett, but maybe soon.
I know. I totally want him to come on, though. I was thinking that it might be a good idea for him to come on and talk about like what we can do to whiten our teeth, and how like sometimes we want to straighten your teeth before weddings.
I would have him on the business podcast that we have with Paul, but regardless, you said, look, they gave us this Yeti, and what did I say?
He gave you, it's got to be a fake Yeti.
Yeah, this has to be an absolute fake, made in China BS Yeti.
One.
This is a real Yeti. Most people are surprised by this.
Yeah.
So like they're giving out $40 glasses, $40 mugs, but the point is, if they get our business, it's probably worth $4,000 or $5,000, and then we have 2 kids, so $8,000 to $10,000 in return. And it seems like the way you're acting is there's probably no other people in the world you want to go to.
No, they were. When G and I were driving away, I said, G, can you think of one thing that went wrong at that?
Yeah.
Everything was awesome, and he was even like, that place is amazing.
So our business consultant Paul really loved this story because he starts breaking down the idea about the numbers, about math of like, well, what does it cost for a lead? What does it cost to land the lead? And how much money are you willing to risk to get that person? What can that lead bring in for you? Mm-hmm. And then he's got us in this mindset for photography as well. So of late, it's not so much possible with brides and grooms in terms of outreach, but I happen to be, humbly speaking, a fairly masterful headshot photographer, portrait headshot photographer. And it's hard to just, I think over the last decade, a lot of our peers in photography, most people in photography think that we did think this, is you just put up a website and you wait for people to call. Mm-hmm. And if they don't call, then you don't work. And then you got to do something else. You get side jobs or whatever. But this, in the past, I would say the past year, we've been fairly active with advertising, outreach, cold calling, and trying to drum up more business. And so the idea of having a life coach or a business consultant is, it's amazing when we surround ourselves with different people. Like they say, like they're really, the sky's the limit. They sort of say like, well, what do you want to make a year? $10 million? Or do you want to be worth $100 million 1 year? Let's just start tomorrow or start now and start doing things.
Isn't it weird that sometimes I know that there's creatives out there, and Seth, I think maybe I was one of these in the beginning where I'm like, well, if you have to work to get business, your business must not be that great. Mm-hmm. No, that's actually what business is.
Yes.
You have to work to get business.
What did he just say? That Geico spends $1.2 billion on their marketing? Mm-hmm. That's a lot of money going out the door. There's a lot of revenue they could be putting in their pockets going out the door, but they realize that by spending that, they can probably make $4 billion off of it. So the sky's really the limit.
You have to have a good product, though. You have to.
Well, that's true.
And you have to have that structure built in place that, like, you can't just have people call you and then expect, like, no, you have to have a good business too. So, I mean, Geico's pretty reputable. People really like them and they continue to go back, but they have to advertise the market themselves as well.
So pulling this back to us is what are some of the favorite things that we do for our wedding photography clients that you really enjoy and you think is going above and beyond what they might get elsewhere?
Well, you know, like, I mean, it's hard to like sit here and then like toot your own horn, right? Like to say like, but what I like doing, and I know what it is working with us, I like only taking clients that I want to work with and that are awesome people, and then I can provide them an awesome experience. And part of that is like I like them. They're my friends.
Well, yeah. So I think that the industry term is we have to match up with them personality-wise.
Yes.
We have to match up. So I don't know if I'd call it being selective or turning people away, but I have heard we did have a client say that like he literally read on the internet that we choose exclusive clients, and I guess there is a smidge of that. Like we've never turned.
I don't like that phrase, like exclusive. Like, what is that? Like,
well, listen,
they're just people. They're like just great people.
These are not our words. Someone's told us this, but I would say we would, when clients do call, I mention to them as much as they're interviewing us, we're interviewing you, because inevitably we want to find out if we can provide what you're looking for.
That's what it is.
So if they start saying things that we can't do, I will be quick to point out that like we probably can't provide that for you. And oftentimes it might involve they want a lot of stuff for the small amount of money. And sometimes we can't make that work. But I think we have made a real niche in the marketplace in going the extra mile. I've taken workshops and classes and traveled North America, learning from our peers and teachers in the industry to how to go sort of the extra mile and really take care of these clients. And it has been incredibly rewarding for us in the past few years. There's just a list of people that email us, text us about like, it's just amazing the reaction we get from clients when we take the time to, you know what I mean, Beth?
I see it a lot in our reviews. The things that, like what people say in reviews is it drives me to be even better than that review. This is a client we had, Ian and Kayla. We've only done their connection session photos. They got wall art. They got an album. I visited with them. You visited at their home. This is Christmas Eve. We just want to say how thankful we are we found you both. We've been showing off our book and cherishing the moments with it. It really is something profound to have something so personal to share with our family. I cannot wait to share it with our families tomorrow. I hope you and your family have a wonderful Christmas. Be safe, so on and so forth. It's been a blessing to work with you both. Merry Christmas. And then a week later, they sent us pictures of their new puppy. Dude, their puppy is so cute.
So like whatever we're doing, I absolutely enjoy this. I tell people like I can't imagine you're gonna have this relationship with your cake lady or your DJ, but like now we're trading puppy photos and we like know each other as like family members and we're like saying like it's just amazing.
Like Kayla and Ian, those are really important people in my life. I mean that,
But and I think part of this, Beth, is we do take a selective number of weddings that we feel really great about and that they match up with us.
Yeah.
We had gone through years in the past where it's very tough to connect with 35 to 50 different couples on a year.
Yeah.
And so I knew photographers that were friends of mine that you had never actually got to speak to them. We had a photographer friend and he would say he was actually proud that he got his workflow down so far that he would communicate with email and they would meet on the wedding day. And I was like, how is that even possible? Like I remember I met with the mom of the bride. I was in her presence 5 times after I delivered her final album to her. I mean, like, so I would say, like, we have really taken
I know for
pride.
myself,
Go
like,
on, babe.
I have a difficult time photographing a wedding.
Absolutely.
If I don't know what's important to them, what's important to their parents, what's important in their life, and I need to know all of this to properly photograph their wedding, and the only way for me to get that information is to be a part of their life and to call them and talk to them and ask them those questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's been incredibly rewarding for us. I could go on forever about some of the things people are saying to us, and I don't know, it's just great. We've just we've had a blast. I was looking for another text because we just had another reveal. I did a ton of reveals over around the Christmas break, or at least the month of December. So I was traveling all over Ohio, meeting clients in their homes and doing reveals with families.
And I know a lot of people would say, like, wow, that's a lot of work for you.
Yeah, well, it is.
But I know for you personally and for myself, it's very rewarding to have that opportunity to, like, see the reactions of the families' faces and the brides and grooms' faces when they see their photos for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was intrigued because we had these amazing clients. We shared one of their more amazing photos from their wedding where they had a bunch of Star Wars characters show up to their wedding, and it was
sweet.
just absurd. And it was Pat and Maria, and they're wonderful. They live in Columbus, and they called us on a whim. They ended up saying, I don't think we can afford you, but we have to have you. And so we worked out an hourly difference. We weren't there for the whole time, but either way, we knocked out their wedding. It was incredible meeting their family, and Pat told me at the wedding that he listened to this podcast. I think it's podcast number 4 about, or maybe it's 2, about getting a wedding album, and it really educated him on the importance of the book that we provide. Mm-hmm. And inevitably, after the wedding, they built a big, beautiful book that they're looking to cherish for the rest of their lives. And I was like so shocked that, like, the podcast is actually helping our current clients. Yeah. I think we thought it would maybe just open people up to our lives and open people up to who we are and maybe help with potential future clients. But in actuality, it's like it's reinforcing our process to our own clients. So I did a review with them. It was incredible. They saw the photos. We built an album. It's incredible. And I'm going to deliver the album very soon. So, yeah, Beth, you were all fired up about this this business strategy.
Yeah, it, like, just inspires me in my own personal life. Like, how can I be better? Like, just the whole experience. I just loved it so much.
We will be going to WPPI this year. For normal people, this means nothing to you. If you're a photographer listening, this is the main photography conference of the whole year for basically North America. It's the biggest photography conference in the world. About 20,000 photographers go to Las Vegas. Oddly enough, they're not going to Topeka, Kansas, but they're going to Vegas. So it's part socializing, part classwork, part partying in the evening. And every year we end up saying we're not going. It's too much. We have kids. It's expensive. It's in Vegas, blah, blah, blah. And then about every year we end up going.
Yeah.
It's funny is I love these conferences. I'm involved in some other stupid things like Magic the Gathering trading cards and like other dumb stuff out in the world. And so I always laugh, like, the most famous person inside a conference can walk down the street and be nobody. And it's kind of us. Like, we're nobody. But when we go to the conference, like, we will meet people who follow us all over we meet a lot of people that know us. And it's exciting to, like, meet some of these people. I know you're very excited to meet some of the people that you've been connecting with online.
I get so excited. There's, like, just so many people that, like, we have a nice social media relationship with, and I follow their stuff, and we have, like, just a great relationship online. So it's an opportunity for us to, like, get dinner and actually meet and talk about life and work. I'm really looking forward to it.
Beth gets all gussied up. She's got a pair of, like, these beautiful red shoes that, like, light up the town. And she gets all gussied up for all the parties and meeting other people. But our main goal this year is to increase our outreach with all the amazing companies that we work with.
Yeah.
And we're interviewing a lot of the CEOs and founding members of these companies, which I can mention. So number one of the companies that changed our lives drastically is called The Image Salon. They're out of Montreal, Canada, and their founders are Daniel and Davina Kudish. Now, Daniel and Davina are by far one of the most famous wedding photography duos ever.
Like not even in America or Canada, but just like ever.
And so, to the point where, like, again, like I think on the street, no one might know who they are. But to me, like when I saw them for the first time and got to finally meet them, I was like, oh my God, this is like godly to meet them. And since then, we've developed a great relationship and a partnership with them. We've been using them for years. I don't want our clients to think like, wait, you don't edit your photos? Well, how would I say this, guys? So there's a certain round of editing. There's so much editing. Many rounds. So you got to straighten the image. You have to get all the skin tones correct. And this is a very timely and difficult process to do on when Beth and I take 10,000 photos on a wedding day and reduce that down to, somewhere between 800 to 1,000 or something. It's a very timely thing to do. It's like crop and color correct and all this stuff. So the Image Salon drastically saves a lot of our time and headaches in this world. Days in this world. So we get our life back. So we send our photos to the Image Salon, and they have a personalized editor who's been editing for us for years now, and they're incredible. And
then even after you get those back, I say Seth spends like another 8 hours going through those photos to make sure, because he just wants to make sure every single image is the highest quality and that it's perfect. So he even we'll take away,
You said perfect, kind of weird there.
Oh, did I? How does it? Perfect.
You said perfect.
Perfect. It's the emphasis on the syllable.
Syllable. I do spend a lot of time on the edits. Some people think I'm nuts because we spend too much time on the edits. And there's also wonderful photographers like Two Man Studios in Canmore, Canada, where like Lanny, the husband of the team, he spends like 40 hours a week on his edits.
Right.
So, they're very important. And consequently, they win zillions and zillions of famous awards. But that's a whole other topic. We'd love to get them on the podcast too. But so Image Salon, Daniel and Davina, they said that both can make it, and it's going to be great. So we're going to set up shop, the podcast, makeshift podcast studio in a suite at the Mandalay Bay, and have some beautiful people.
I'm really excited for that. It's a super cute suite.
Well, I'm nervous. I mean,
why are you nervous?
I don't know. It's going to be awesome, but these are like big time people. Daniel and Davina are just.
I don't get nervous about things like that.
Well, I'm just nervous talking about it.
I just get excited about like my outfit.
Well, outfits, yeah.
Yeah, like I just get real like. Oh,
so Beth will be getting her outfit on while I set up all this podcast gear. Yeah. There's like 17 cameras here.
I'll make sure that I'm going to make sure that I have the right beverages and craft services.
Charcuterie? Yes, craft.
No charcuterie. Not in Vegas. You don't get charcuterie in Vegas.
Well, if it's really nice with the grapes and the...
That's not, which is the nice fruit veggie type.
Other partners of ours, I call them partners because we work dependently on each other to promote each other. And so Fundy Software, Andrew Funderburg, the founder of Fundy Software, is going to be on. Fundy Software.
So he's so funny.
Yeah, he's going to be
hilarious.
I
never know what to like. Should we do something when he comes? He would like that.
He is a jokester. He's incredible.
Let's think of something and do.
If you look up Fundy Designer or Fundy Software on Google and find them, if you're a photographer, this is like absolutely one of the best tools we've ever used in terms of creating our albums in front of our clients and basically getting the layouts, digital layouts for our albums that we include in our services. So
last year when we went to WPPI, it was. So Seth and I, we've been to Vegas a couple times, but never had like a real Vegas experience where you're like, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, until we went to one of Fundy's parties. So we've been to some Fundy parties. This was the most Fundy party ever.
It was over the top.
Oh my gosh, he got like the biggest, most lavishing suite at the top of...
It had to be 800 square feet room.
Was that?
I don't know which one, but if the fire code called for 100 people... There was 320 people in this room.
It was so packed, and there was so much going on.
It felt like you were trying to crawl through like a mosh pit at a concert of people.
And every second, more people were coming.
And they're all photographers, so everyone's taking pictures and videos.
And to even get up to the suite, you had to have this special pass. And I was
they only handed out to certain people.
I got the
whom
pass.
we thought apparently went out to the whole damn.
Hey, it worked though.
Yes.
It was really.
They do a hell of a job in
exciting.
promoting. They're giving like Andrew Funderburg is so hilarious. Like he'll pass out, and I should just do this, Beth. He'll pass out buttons with his own face on the button. Just say, "Here, wear me."
Wear me.
It's just him, like smiling like a goofball.
And you're
Dude's
like,
incredible.
Dude, and like you'll have a pin on, like a Fundy pin, and people are like, "Where'd you get that pin?" I'll give you money
to
for
get
that pin. I'm with the pin.
We're very stoked to have Brady Perrier of Blacksmith Printing Company on.
Is he going to come?
He is. Brady is has grown into a dear friend of ours. It started off with a cold call, Beth. Brady cold called me.
No. I picked up the phone.
You did?
He called, and I was like, I saw who it was, and you said his name before, and I was like, I'm just going to pick up Seth's phone, and answered the call. So I was like, hello, and I introduced myself, and Brady and I talked for 40 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, listen, I could continue to talk to you more, but you didn't call to talk to me. You want to talk to Seth. Let me get him. And like immediately I was like, you have to talk to this guy. Like this guy is the guy.
I was a little standoffish. No one likes cold calls. So I was sort of like, listen, bro, just leave me alone. Next thing you know, we talked about albums, wanted to give me a sample. I met him again in real life. And he's absolutely one of the most important members of the photography community in our lives. I talk to him on a weekly basis. We stay at each other's homes. Our kids laugh, and he's just been a great part of our life. He's going to be on. His album company, damn it, he delivers the most beautiful albums ever. I think our albums are so gorgeous, and when people get them in their hands, they're shocked. The fine leather, the beautiful craftsmanship, they're incredible. We're going to have Brady on from Blacksmith Printing Co. To talk all about his albums and what he's doing with his business and how we utilize them. So I think another person we're having on is Jacqueline Tobin from Rangefinder Magazine. She's like the president or CEO of Rangefinder Magazine, which is one of the largest.
Maybe she's chief editor.
Chief editor. That's right. Sorry, I don't know all the dang titles, but she's incredible. Rangefinder Magazine is one of the leading magazines out there that basically promotes photographers and gear. They do stories and articles. It's incredible. They
really get so much. Rangefinder, if you're a photographer or you just like photography, even if you just like photography, you can just learn so much from a magazine. Remember, like, you know how sometimes you get like magazine subscriptions and it's just like all ads and you don't even know if there's any articles? It's not like that.
See, the funny part about the ads Rangefinder is photographers are so much about gear, I am too, that like it actually
like the
helps.
ads.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole section where they just review all the new gear that comes out, and like it's like the one place I go. So we're gonna have her on. She's incredible, very knowledgeable about the photography community, and she's
got really great personality too.
She's incredible.
Like,
so
I don't know. You know how like you know what it is? She's such a beautiful writer that she speaks with like super fancy words, and she's just like very very eloquent in the way that I'm not that.
Beth, you will use awesome 3 different ways in the same sentence. And everything's amazing to you. That's your go-to adjective. We had to back off. I don't know if we've talked about this in other podcasts. Beth has fallen into this habit where she tells everyone she loves them.
I do. Well, no, I don't tell everyone.
It got to the point
I do love them.
We would go out to a restaurant, and it wasn't even the waiter. The boy who would bring the water. I say boy because at times it could very well be a 15-year-old kid.
Right.
Who delivered the water. Beth would say, "Oh, thank you so much. I just love you. Oh, I love you. Thank you for bringing this water."
I love his service.
And then it got to the point she would stare into strangers' eyes and tell them they love them. And listen, I'm all for love, but I told her she's got to back off a bit at some point. It gets ridiculous. It's just an awkward situation.
Like opens the door, bends down to pick something up, and I'm like, "Oh, I love you."
Beth, no, you got to stop right now.
I'm not
stopping. A random stranger would open the door for her, and she just looked deep in her eyes and say, "I love you for opening this door."
I love their actions.
And I was finding that they don't know how to react to this because it's a little
because people don't say it enough.
Well, because it's listen, folks. I'm not being a Debbie Downer here, but if you say you love everyone,
is being a Debbie the Downer.
Listen, I told her that if you tell everyone you love them, then the real people who love you, like, well, wait a minute.
You know I love you.
Yes, but you're telling the bread boy at Panera, at Olive Garden that you love them.
I'm not backing down. I'm not backing down from this. So I do love them.
Go on.
And I love people that are not of there's for some reason in society, I feel like we're less and less doing things for other people and being kind, and we don't say thank you enough. And I feel personally that I want to thank these people, and I tell them I love them.
I think the world's a beautiful. I think if you look on Facebook with all the negativity and all that, it's portrayed as a bad place, but like there's a lot of overthinking. I am like graciously thanking people to hold the door for me, and it's like, all right, come on, like this is just a thing we do nowadays.
We don't do that. Not everyone does that.
Yeah, well, I know, but I guess you're right. I get very along the same lines. If someone
we don't live in an overly gracious world.
If I hold the door for someone and they don't even acknowledge my presence, let alone thank me, I want to fight them immediately. This is what I'm thinking inside.
Wait, say that one more time.
I hold the door for someone.
Yeah.
Not only is there no thank you, but they don't even look at me. They're just like, I just walk through the door like I'm like their servant.
Wouldn't you like it if somebody said thank you?
I'm getting fired up just talking about it.
I know. So you should start telling people you love them.
You're right. I was just going to say, as they walk through,
I love
that's
you.
not creepy at all,
Hey,
Beth.
somebody bought Gio and I breakfast this morning.
What are you talking about?
So I don't get to spend a lot of quality time with my kiddos.
We work from home.
They're not at home when I'm working from home.
Okay, go on.
The second they get home, we have to do homework and get in the car and eat dinner.
Tell me about breakfast.
Okay, so after the orthodontist, there's a little breakfast place right across the street, and I said, oh, let's run in there and get some breakfast super fast.
How nice. Little dinner, morning date with the two of you.
I just love it so much. And, he says the sweetest things to me, like, Mom, you're so easy to talk to. I just love talking with you. And I'm like, let's go get breakfast. You know what I'm saying? So we went to breakfast. And some lady came over, our waitress came over and said, the gentleman that just left that was sitting at the bar, he loves your son. He loves the relationship between you and your son, and he wanted to pick up your meal. So he's going to buy you your breakfast.
Wow.
And I was like, wow.
And then right off the bat, Beth was like, can I have 2 mimosas?
You know it. Gio was like, I'll take the home fries. He doesn't even know what home fries are. No. We didn't. We laughed. We didn't. We stuck it to our normal meal. But I don't know. That was really great. I don't know if anyone's ever done that for me before.
Wow.
So you know how they say, like, you have to, like, pay it forward. So I said, gee, on our way home, let's stop and get Starbucks for your teacher and Hank's teacher. I know what they like.
Oh.
So,
and that is a level of customer service that you provide to people in your life.
I guess.
You know their Starbucks orders?
I do. Well, I brought in Starbucks for a parent-teacher conference.
Let's see, there you go.
So Miss Medley likes chai tea latte, non-fat. And Mrs. Large likes the dragon fruit tea.
Dragon fruit.
Pleasure or something like that.
Sounds sexy. All right, folks. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Beth, for your insight.
You're welcome.
Love.
Hey, I love you guys. I love
to all
you.
The viewers out there.
Even I do love them.
What about that one guy that keeps giving us negative comments?
Oh, I don't like him.
And automatic thumbs
kiss
down.
My ass.
There's one guy in this world that auto thumbs down all of his podcasts. And if
he goes on.
So please, if you're that guy and you've made it this far, call us. I'd love to talk to you because Beth has so much love to give out. She would love to.
I take back that comment where I just said you could kiss my ass. No.
She would love to love.
I would love to talk to you. I want to know what we're doing that you're giving us the thumbs down. I can change it. Is it the love?
Maybe this show's just awful to some people. Oh. But we love them too.
Can you do that? Dum, dum, dum.
I don't even know. Oh, here, yeah. I don't even know. That was bad. What? My sound effects aren't working today.
Dum.
Oh. Thanks for joining us. Currently, right now, we're only on YouTube, so you have to watch us. We're going to be on all the other podcasting.
Yeah,
endeavors.
And we're going to work on how to tell you guys better that we're on.
Oh, they all know.
No,
you can see our view count. It's up there near Joe Rogan. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, guys.
7 Beth. That's us. What was that?